Hello my friends, Caitlin here, and let's do a Q&A with KP. That's me. So I had lots of best laid plans for videos, and then I just didn't film them. Or really, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I want to make good videos. I want to make compelling videos that are interesting to look at. But the thing that I struggle with the most is having the time to film videos. Like when the light is right outside, or when my makeup is done, or just having the energy to film a video. That's what happened this week, and I just didn't have the energy to film. I've been kind of bummed lately. That's sort of the best way to describe kind of the low point of how I've been feeling mental health wise recently. It's just kind of bummed. So anyway, thanks for the people who sent in some questions for me to answer today, because it's kind of fun. I like answering just fun questions, silly questions, serious questions. So let's get to it. Okay, the first question I want to answer was one I actually got in my iIMAGINEblank.com submissions form, which is, I guess, ideally where you would put video ideas or questions you want me to make a video about. But this one is not necessarily one I would make a whole video on, but I thought it was funny. Is Finn neutered from Anonymous. Thought it was even more amusing that the person who was asking wanted to be anonymous. Totally respect that. But so, is Finn neutered?
Come here, Mr. Kitty.
Finn doesn't have any ow, don't hurt me. Finn doesn't have any balls. He didn't really like me doing that. Finn is neutered, yes. I am a great supporter of spaying and neutering your pets. So I adopted him, he was neutered, the neutering cost was covered by the shelter, which is really great. Support your local shelters. So no, I will not have any kitty grandchildren from Finn. How do you engage in self-care? What's one thing that's Instagrammable and one thing that's not? This is a good question because self-care, I think, is really important. It's something that I didn't do when I was younger. Really, I don't think people thought as much or talked as much about self-care. But now I feel like with social media, we talk a lot more about self-care. And I think in general, we've kind of recognized that doing things to take care of yourself are really important. But definitely with social media and Instagram, the idea or the real meaning behind self-care can get kind of lost. It can sort of become this ooh, let me take this beautifully arranged photo of my knees in the bathtub with a bath bomb and candles and a book and a glass of wine, and this is self-care. And yeah, I don't think if you scroll through my Instagram feed that I have any photos like that, because that's not how I perform self-care. I would say 90% of my self-care is something that's not gonna be Instagrammable, or even part of my self-care is really not being on social media or being on Instagram. So probably something that is Instagrammable for me that I would consider self-care is just cuddling my cat, or for real, my Finn brings me a lot of joy and stress relief. Something that I do that's not Instagrammable. I guess just most of the things I do for self-care. I would say at the moment, kind of things that involve me just sitting and zenning out. So that might be reading, it might be watching one of my favorite YouTube channels, which is Game Grumps. I have a Nintendo Switch, and I like playing games on that. One of the games I really like right now is Yoshi's Crafted World, and I learned that I put it on the easy mode, so you can't, it's a lot, I mean, you can still die, but it's a lot harder to die. So it's just kind of a fun experience to just play for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I'll do a couple of levels, and then I'll be okay, I'm done. We're gonna stop. What lessons has this past decade taught you, and what do you look forward to in the decade to come? I don't like to think about the fact that in less than, or not less than, in just a little over 6 months, I'll turn 30, because I guess it's weird. When I was a kid, I sort of thought 25 was the ideal age. That's the year that I would have everything together, physically, emotionally, career-wise, professionally, just everything would have worked out at that point. And unfortunately, that I got into, I lived life and realize that's not how things work. Like, not for anyone. Even people who might seem like they have it all together at 25 or 35 or 45, like, no one really has it all together. I think probably the biggest lesson that I've learned is that facades are deceiving and that no one really has it together. And that it's okay when you don't have it together, that it's a work in progress. You just gotta keep rolling with the flow. In the decade to come, I don't know. I'm trying to be positive about it because there's a lot of, I feel like my 20s, I feel like I lost time, important time. I also don't think that's the right way to think about it because that's me thinking about, I'm always looking at the past and saying like, oh, you missed this thing or this time because you were worried about the past. And so like, I hope, I guess, maybe my hope for the next decade is that I can stop looking into the past so much and be much more present and also be better about looking to and planning for the future in a reasonable and like practical way. When was the last time you had fun with your family? I don't think this is supposed to be as like funny of a question to me as it is, because I love my family. I love my family dearly, but also like the idea of what fun with my family means is complicated because like I could say, well, this weekend I went to visit them, but then also like, did I really necessarily do anything fun with them? How do you define fun? I really like my family's sense of humor. I feel like I know what my family thinks is funny. I have a lot of fun when I am with them and I can like make sort of like the quick-witted jokes based off of whatever we're talking about and then they laugh. Like I love making my family laugh. So really anytime that I do that, I feel like I'm having fun with my family. So then, you know, this past weekend or pretty much most anytime I go visit them, really, I feel like I can do that. Do you still have someone you can trust? Yes. Yeah, I don't know if that's in response to like the breakup I had or what, but I do. I have quite a few friends and people that I feel like I can trust. Like I feel like I can trust my mom and dad, some really good friends. Definitely feel like I can trust my boyfriend. And so yeah, I have close friendships that I feel like I can be, you know, my true self with. And I really value those. And I hope all of you guys have that too, or at least working towards that in your life. I know it can be a difficult thing to find. How do you feel every morning when you wake up? I am not a morning person, so generally I'm pretty tired, I would say is how I feel in the morning. So as someone who has like a chronic illness and chronic pain, the mornings where I feel like good or relatively normal or, you know, like my pain level is low or non-existent, then I'm very grateful to be awake, alive, and that I'm not in pain. I kind of go through like a little mental assessment of, you know, like how's all of my body feeling? You know, what from yesterday that was hurting me is hurting me more or hurting me less today? Favorite food, favorite drink? Does ice cream count as food? I feel like favorite food should be like an actual meal that you eat. But if there's anything that like I'm always down for, it's probably ice cream. Favorite drink? That's somewhat difficult. So I don't drink soda. I mostly drink water all the time. Like lemonade was my favorite thing to drink growing up, which is just like sugar water. Now I guess there's like gingerberry flavored kombucha. That's kind of my favorite thing to drink right now, which makes me definitely sound like a basic white girl. Do you play any sports or would like to? So I don't play any sports. I feel like it's harder as an adult to play like sports on a team, or really probably sports in general, because they're just like the amount of hours you have to work and then just do all the other adult things. Like when are you supposed to go out and be a part of a team? So yeah, like a softball team or just like being able to swim all the time, all year long, inside and outside. And then maybe a dance team where I could learn new things and get better and just like move my body and do stuff. I think would be really cool. All right, that is some questions. It's funny how it'll be like, oh, there's not very many questions. It's not gonna be a very good or long video, but Actually, a lot of you guys always give me like really insightful questions, so it's fun stuff to talk about. Plenty of video right here. If you like more chill videos like this where I just answer your questions, or just talk about, I don't know, chill topics, things that are on my mind, without a lot of like fanfare of what I try to do in my normal videos, you know, let me know. Let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys for being really great subscribers and viewers and just like internet friends. I really appreciate it. If you've watched this whole video and you're not subscribed or have that notification bell turned on, I don't know what you're doing, but make sure you do. And remember that you can check me out on all these other social media sites. And I'll see you guys next Thursday. Wee little kitty. He's falling asleep in my arms. Bye. Mwah.